What is going on, everybody? Welcome back, Living the Dream podcast. I'm your host, health coach, American Ninja Warrior, ultra marathoner, Matthew.scoletti in the house. And what are we talking about today? Well, first off, Merry Christmas to all. Hope you're having a great December. I'm sure a lot of us are just ready to get 2020 over with, but there are some things that still need to be talked about. And one of them, as you saw in the title, is rebuilding motivation. I cannot tell you how many people I just feel bad for a lot of people. A lot of people have lost motivation, or they have no motivation. They haven't had any the whole year for a lot of individuals because the coronavirus, boom, just punched us right in the mouth, smacked us down, and kept us down on the ground for 10 plus months. It is now time. It is go time to rebuild your motivation and get some momentum going, because momentum is a beast. Momentum, for those of you that watch football or basketball, baseball, momentum can swing a game like this. You've seen it countless times. Team goes into the locker room in basketball down 16 points. They come out in the third quarter and start building momentum. They cut the lead to 13 and then to 11 and then to 9. And before you know it, the game's tied, and the team that was leading early on cannot believe what has happened. The reason is they built some momentum, and that's what we need you to do, and myself as well. I constantly need to be checking in with myself. I have gone down a negative route many times, and doing these podcasts definitely helped me out as well, but I am here to serve you, and I hope these 3 tips to rebuild momentum and motivation will help you out. Let's dive right in. Number 1, I often say this during speeches: own your morning and you own the day. Own your morning and you own the day. Why is that? How many times have you woken up, I'm talking to myself as well, without a plan? Just set the alarm, you don't know what you're going to do, and then what happens? Life, boom, smacks you right in the mouth. Something happens with your kids or your dog or your spouse or your friend or your parents, and before you know it, it's 5 or 6 o'clock at night and the day's over, and you're just thinking, what the heck happened? What is going on? Here's the key. Start small. Own the first 5 or 10 minutes of the morning. That's it. Come up with a game plan. It's not enough to just set your alarm. Let's say you normally wake up at 6:30. Tomorrow, if you set it for 6:20, that's not enough. You need to have a game plan. So let's say that's the scenario. You normally wake up at 6:30. Tomorrow morning, you set the alarm for 6:20. What are you going to do in those 10 minutes? Are you going to meditate? Are you going to read something that you can learn about, something to help you grow? Are you going to knock out some push-ups and jumping jacks? What are you going to do to own the morning? Come up with that game plan. It only needs to be 1 or 2 things to start, and then slowly build upon that. I will tell you right now, as I speak to you, my favorite part of the day for the last few years, probably 4 or 5 years, is 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. It is by far my favorite part of the day. I get to have a ton of growth in my body, in my mind, in my meditation, in my prayer. I get to be selfless by praying and thinking about a lot of other people. It's a beautiful time of the day, and I hope you begin with just a 5 or 10 minute earlier alarm clock later this week. The suggestion is this: you wake up 5-10 minutes early, and do not look at social media and do not turn on the TV in that time period. Those are my challenges to you for number 1, for building or rebuilding motivation and starting to build momentum. Own your morning, own the day. Number 2, get small wins. Get small wins. If you think about this, when somebody gets a big win, 99.9% of the time, it's just a bunch of small wins put together. That's all it is. I don't care if we're talking about the President of the United States or Michael Jordan, LeBron James, some of the best athletes in football in the Olympics. They're just getting a little bit better every single day. They're getting these small wins and they're stacking them on top of one another. And we are no different. Get small wins, because a lot of times, I'm sure you know this as well as I do, if you think about the major goal constantly, you can get overwhelmed. So think about these small steps you can take in order to keep leveling up in your life. Here's the suggestion. Get a small win this week. Get one small win. What do I mean by a small win? Well, it's different for everybody, but if you've been putting off sending an email to your boss, to a coworker, to a family member, send the email. That's a small win. Call that difficult client, that family member you've been putting off calling. Give them a call. Give that prospect a call. You've been, I don't know if I should call him. Push yourself. One small win can kickstart you, can jumpstart you, I should say, into this motivation and this momentum. And then before you know it, one small win turns into 2, turns into 5, turns into 10. And now you're winning like crazy. And now you're getting big wins. You're turning the small wins into big wins. So there you go. Get a small win. That'll help boost your confidence and build that momentum. Number 2, small wins. Number 3, final one. Your support system is enormously huge when it comes to building momentum and getting some motivation back. Who is around you? The first thing I ask a lot of people when I start coaching them is, who's around you? Who do you hang? Who are the 3 to 5 people you interact with the most? Are they healthy? Are they reading in the morning? Are they meditating? Are they stressed out? Are they eating very unhealthy? Are they overweight? You can tell so much about a support system. And I think I mentioned this in an earlier podcast, but I'll never forget speaking to a school. The first time I spoke to this one school, and I was talking to one of the teachers, and she said, I can almost tell you exactly how a lot of these kids are going to turn out 1, 2, 3 years from now. I said, what do you mean? How do you know? She said, look at the people that they hang around. And it's the same for adults. Look at who we hang around. You play to the level of the competition, to use a sports term. So you want to be leveling up with the people that are around you. It's just so simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy to switch friend groups. It's not easy to pull away from a friend who's overly negative and who is not treating their body healthy. It's tough to pull away from that friend and try to engage other people. But now is the time. Your body is worth it. Your mind is worth it. Your life is worth it. And your life could depend on, at least a little bit, on who your support system is. Final challenge. Get around people. Now, this is key. If you have a pen or you can write this down, this is game changer right here. Get around people whose normal behavior is your desired behavior. I got to say it again and I'll explain it. Get around people whose normal behavior is your desired behavior. Let's use the example of healthy living. If you're an unhealthy individual, maybe you're 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight, and you begin to hang around individuals that are healthy, you will trend in that direction. By the way, the same goes the opposite way. If you're healthy and you start hanging out with 3, 4, 5 unhealthy people, you more than likely could trend in that direction as well. And I know if COVID, depending on when you're listening to this, is still happening, get in a Facebook group whose normal behavior is your desired behaviors. You can still do this virtually. You're not off the hook just because it has to be virtual. You can still come up with ways to connect and interact with people virtually whose normal behavior is what you desire in your life. There you go. You will eventually trend in the direction of that group. You will become healthier. You will lose that weight. You will start that business. Whatever you desire, get in a group that's their normal behavior. Boom. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to another episode. Quick recap on rebuilding motivation. Own your morning, own your day is number 1. Number 2, get small wins. Number 3, think about your support system and who you are surrounding yourself with. That can absolutely positively change your life for better or for worse. Much love to you all. Happy holidays. Have a blessed, safe, healthy day, and we'll see you on the next podcast.